In China's Fuding city, Tzu Chi hosts a year-end celebration with the performance of the 12 Vows of the Medicine Buddha. And in Taiwan, we meet a young girl with a bright future needing a cornea transplant. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers in both Dongguan and Shenzhen of Guangdong, China, held year-end ceremonies, appealing to the public to join the Ethical Eating Day campaign taking place on January 11th. To reciprocate their blessings, many children also brought their filled coin banks to donate.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Shenzhen, Guangdong, China, hold a year-end ceremony. When people arrive at the venue, they can have their blood pressures checked. It makes them feel the volunteers' love. With his wife's company, Wang Yuping pulls out coins from his coin bank. He suffered from the stroke in June last year, and through a Tzu Chi study group, he slowly works out the shadow of his illness.
When I come to this environment, I feel very peaceful. In the near future, I'll spend more time and energy to do my best by volunteering.
Tzu Chi has been giving him a lot of positive energy, so we're grateful to a big family like Tzu Chi. I also hope to take good care of my little family. I will do my best to serve more people and help those who need it.
People gather here for the year-end ceremony. The volunteers remind them to sign up on the internet to join the Ethical Eating Day campaign. There are also volunteers sharing their stories to bring energy to the attendees.
We're helping people here, but what we gain the most is the growth of our spirituality.
There is another year-end ceremony being held in Dongguan, with 1,000 people in participation. The performance started rehearsing 1 month ago, and Li Rongji, who is 80 years old, is as good as other young performers.
Whenever I went to raise money, I'd watch the video in the car. Because I am old, I practiced in the morning and at noon, whenever I had time.
In addition to the drums and bells performance, volunteers also arrange a show called Lotus Flowers from the Mud to spread the Dharma. Liu Yingchun gains much from it.
All of Tzu Chi's ideals are slowly immersed into my daily life so I can maintain the pure heart, just like a lotus flower. It can let everyone around me grow a lotus flower too.
Children also bring their coin banks to the venue.
I saved the money for the children in the poor mountain to live better lives.
The ceremonies make the public feel they belong to one family because the venues are full of love and hope.
Staying in China but moving to Fujian, a blessing ceremony was held in Fuding City, with local volunteers also using the opportunity to celebrate their 20th anniversary. With the help of Fuding Hospital medical staff and recycling volunteers, everyone put on a performance of the 12 Vows of the Medicine Buddha.
During the year-end celebration at Fuding's Tzu Chi office, volunteers put on a performance of each of the 12 vows of the Medicine Buddha. The 7th vow is portrayed by the real-life story of a girl from Guangxi who caught pneumonia and didn't have the money to see a doctor, but a medical professional still came to her rescue.
I always walk away with some enlightenment whenever I participate in an event like this.
50 hospital staff shouldered 3 of the vows and made sure to practice diligently to correctly portray their part. Meanwhile, Fuding's Tzu Chi volunteers and recycling volunteers also mobilized to bring this ceremony to fruition.
When we started, our movements were stiff and awkward, but since the beauty of the team lies in the togetherness of it all, if everyone was stiff and awkward, there's still a sense of beauty to it.
An enthusiastic response by the audience led to 100 seats being added at the last minute. The volunteers in charge of putting the sutra performance together had to overcome many obstacles to pull off a successful event.
No matter how difficult this Tzu Chi path is, I'll stay on it and won't give up.
We
wanted to be able to present the footage for Master Zhenyan as it's her 80th birthday this year. We hope to send her our blessings for the new year.
A sign language performance was incorporated into the sutra performance, helping Fuding Tzu Chi volunteers celebrate their 20th anniversary, as well as serve as a reminder of their initial aspiration.
The Taimushan recycling station located in Fuding City has gone through several expansions and relocations. At the newest location, volunteers decorated the station with environmental values in mind, which included second-hand glass doors and a lotus display made from plastic bottles.
The Tzu Chi recycling station at Fuding's Taimushan has moved 5 times in the past 5 years.
It was first located at a pig pen that was further away. This wooden building was the second location. This small flat building was the third.
With each expansion of the recycling station, volunteers put more effort into the structure. This time, a large metal shack has been selected as a gathering point. It is filled with tons of second-hand items and has glass ceiling-to-floor windows in the kitchen, which were donated by a kind-hearted person.
A bodhisattva said, "I have doors you can have."
Also, a charitable giver lent the volunteers a warehouse for the volunteers to use as a gathering point for their morning Dharma lessons with Master Zheng Yan. A display of lotus flowers made from plastic bottles is also part of the decorations.
I just kept looking at the display in Hualien to see how the lotus flowers were made. So when I came back, I started making them.
Meanwhile, recycling volunteers maintain Tzu Chi's environmental mission. Among them is 78-year-old Xu Meihua, who suffered from depression because her son was addicted to drugs. She began doing recycling with her eldest daughter to ease her depression. Now, the two are certified Tzu Chi volunteers, and they have even invited 2 relatives to join Tzu Chi.
In doing recycling, we received the love and care of the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters. Before, we were really suffering, but now we are surrounded by Dharma family.
With the Master's guidance and Dharma wisdom to live by, we are living in peace and harmony.
The team of Taiwan volunteers in China helping out for the winter aid distribution has felt the warmth of the volunteers of the Taimushan recycling station. The Taiwanese volunteers will be sure to bring these stories home to share with their counterparts for years to come.
Moving to Taiwan, Chee Hong, a recycling volunteer in Taichung, had once wanted to make more money, so he gave up his job to play the stock market. As gambling is no way to make a living, he ended up with a massive debt, and he gradually shut himself off. It was only when he came across a Jingsi aphorism that he began to change his life around. Chee Hong concentrates on doing recycling, and in these moments, his heart is calm and at ease.
Doing something good makes me feel better. During the process, I concentrate on doing the task at hand. My heart is calmed and stable. Other times, chanting sutras helps to ease my mind.
When he was younger, he had yearned to be rich financially and turned to playing the stocks for a quick fix. In the end, he ended up with a huge debt, which his mother had to sell off her house to repay. Afterwards, he lost motivation for life. It was in those dark moments that he saw Master Zhenyan's Jingsi aphorism that brought him out of his stupor.
I saw a Jingsi aphorism that said, "If it is the right thing to do, just do it. And the time it takes to make a decision, one should just seize the opportunity to do the job. When you miss that chance, you might just give up."
Now he's involved in recycling work and other Tzu Chi activities. Yang has also returned to his work post, living a happy and carefree life. 2 months ago, Tzu Chi volunteers in Chile helped a man named Gregorio who fell unemployed because he lost his lower right leg. The volunteers first gave him an electric tricycle to assist him to begin his business. Now they are looking for more ways to support him to expand his business.
In October last year, Tzu Chi volunteers in Chile gave Gregorio a new electric tricycle to help him move around because his lower right leg was amputated.
That one out there is broken, and I need a job to support my family.
2 months have passed, and the volunteers visit him again and find him in high spirit.
I've started selling blueberries, and I've stocked 20 boxes of them at home. My family's financial condition has improved. I'm happy that my family is reunited.
Gregorio has a stand in the market, and this is his family's financial lifeline.
After Tzu Chi has given me the tricycle, I've been working very hard. There have been changes in the past 3 months. We brought some electronic appliances. My kids have clothes to wear and food to eat, but I'm still concerned about their education. For their sake, I'll continue working hard.
Volunteers bring Gregorio to a wholesale market to find sources that can give him stable supplies of goods. This alternative way of job seeking is a miracle of a shanty town in Maipu City.
In our next piece, we'll meet a young girl, Huang Jingmei, who suffers from congenital blindness. For people like her, however, there is often a light at the end of the tunnel in the form of cornea transplants. Now we'll hear her story and learn about the difficulty those awaiting such a transplant may face. My vision problems are all genetic. My father and his parents are all completely blind.
Despite her disability, she has been gifted with musical ability. She has been performing alongside her father since she was young.
Actually, they both know they have no reason to be pessimistic or down on themselves.
When she was young, Qingmei received a gift that she has kept with her.
The
waiting time can be anywhere from a few months to 2 or even 3 years.
According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, there are over 8,000 people on waiting lists for organ transplants across Taiwan. The most sought-after organs to be transplanted are kidneys, livers, and corneas. Among the three, cornea transplants have the highest rates of success.
The cornea is the entire area covering the black pupil of the eye. It is generally about 11 to 12 millimeters in width. The pupil portion must be dug out, which leaves the surrounding iris. There's no way to transplant the iris to a second person.
However, the ratio between supply and demand for corneas is usually insufficient. Although successful cases of cornea transplants have been on the rise, up to 385 in 2016 compared to 259 in 2013, there are still nearly 600 people on a waiting list for their transplant. Recently, Taiwan has been importing corneas from foreign countries as domestic donation awareness needs to be raised.
People should appreciate their own lives, but also recognize how they can help others. It's not my goal to coerce people to donate, but I want to inform people about this process and let them know that this is a way of respecting life.
After undergoing a cornea transplant earlier, Jingmei was able to see herself. However, the good fortune was not to last. The cornea in her left eye has atrophied, and her right eye has been turning steadily opaque.
Since her problem is congenital, even if she receives another transplant, there's still going to be the chance of relapse.
At 16 years old, her life is only just beginning.
After I finish high school, I want to study at university. Then after university, I want to be a singer and a keyboardist, or maybe join a choir.
We want these children to go into society and have plenty of options for their future.
Singing always makes me a little better emotionally. The best part is being able to share music with others. That's what makes me happy.
Although her vision may be dark and cloudy, with her own imagination and dedication, Jingmei hopes that her future may yet be a bright one.
The cochlear implant is a highly effective surgery that allows for those with complete hearing loss to be able to perceive sound. We'll meet one man, Mr. Huang Xianyou, who suddenly went deaf in June 2015. Thankfully, the cochlear implant has allowed him to regain his hearing.
I woke up at 6 in the morning and everything was normal. At 7, I started to feel a lot of pressure in my ear. By 9 o'clock, I could barely hear anything.
Without the ability to hear, an important link to the world is lost.
好像被禁锢起来，我走不出去我家的大门。
我们今天要回乡下吗？
做针灸，然后我太太也去问上，就是什么，只要人家说有机会的，我就不放弃，我就去了。
After a 6-month search at 3 different hospitals, they discovered the otology department at the Taichung Tzu Chi hospital. Although Mr. Huang is a resident of Zhongli, Taoyuan, and they could have just as easily gone to a hospital in Taipei, they ended up driving 132 kilometers south. It is an hour and 40-minute drive to reach Taichung Tzu Chi hospital.
I feel like the doctors here have a more religious outlook. I like the spirit here.
If the hearing loss is severe, then based on our previous statistics, there's only about a 3% chance of full restoration of their hearing ability.
With no hope of restoring his hearing, a special hearing device was his last hope.
The implant works by placing an electrode directly into the ear canal. The cochlear implants turn sound waves into an electrical current to directly stimulate the auditory nerve.
这是线圈，然后这样就开始听到了。
This cochlear implant has been a great help for him, a great help for us also. Even if it hadn't worked, then I would still be depressed even if he weren't.
有风的声音，有车经过的声音，鸟叫的声音。
Thanks to the hearing device, Mr. Huang hears in a new way and is also able to start a new chapter in his life.
被关注，被禁锢，然后被释放那种感觉。
For Mr. Huang, who is 50 years old, his faculty of language had already been developed, so it is a relatively simple process of finding an appropriate electronic frequency which matches the tone and pitch of other voices.
很像是调收音机的感觉。
However, for children who have congenital hearing disabilities, the process is not so simple.
For the young kids who haven't learned to speak, they are not adjusted to the sounds. We used to call deaf people dumb because they would never be able to hear or communicate well. But now with cochlear implants, they can hear sounds.
He was born without sufficient hair follicles in his ears, so there are not enough auditory receptors.
Just like other children who lose their hearing ability. The later the surgery is carried out, the later it will be before they will hear their first sounds.
There are around 130,000 people in Taiwan who suffer from some hearing disability, who could also benefit from cochlear implant technology like this. In addition to subsidies provided by the government for such devices, the Suji Foundation has also created its own subsidy project for the hearing impaired.
I think the cochlear implants are really important for children that lose their hearing ability.
电子耳是很神奇的东西。
Whether one's hearing disability is congenital or appears later in life, inventions like the cochlear implant are a true blessing of modern technology, with the potential to improve the lives of millions of people around the world.
Taiwan's aging society may be aided by the local development of robots, which can provide a number of services such as accompanying the elderly. At the moment, Taiwan has begun developing a type of companion robot that could bring revolutionary changes to the way that we care for the elderly people.
你这样听得见吗？我们讲话。
Wearing a hearing aid is 92-year-old retired teacher Zhang Junying. She's quite a fortunate retired person.
要点歌了，燕双飞。
This filial daughter helps her mother prepare a song list so that she can play music that helps remind her of her past. In the war of resistance against Japanese aggression, she fled from Jiangsu and Guizhou all the way to Taiwan. Later, she married in Taiwan and worked in the Air Force Elementary School and became a middle-aged widow, and has been displaced much of her life as she loves listening to one song after another.
刚开始SOHO 的时候呢，头一年呢，
At the beginning, when I was working from home, my mother was very healthy, and this went on until 2013, when she got sick and was about to get over a cold, and she was feeling good when she suffered a fall. Later, me and my sister both felt that regardless of any circumstances, we have to have one person accompany our mother at all times.
Since then, Mrs. Han keeps her mother by her side during the day when she is working, as she keeps busy playing the piano and writing. And if her son can come back, this is truly the best time.
这你啊？
我。
对啊，这你画的啊。我不住在家里嘛。
I haven't lived at home but the last 2 years. Whenever she talks to me on the phone, she says Happy Lunar New Year, because I think she must enjoy the happy atmosphere of this holiday when everyone is around together.
These happy memories are frozen in her mind, but society is changing as children are no longer able to accompany their parents, as this may pose a major challenge in the future.
跟你问好。
快来一起跟我动一动吧。
他准备了很多东西要陪你动一动。来，
嘴巴动一动还是耳朵动？
身体动一动。
健康操，预备弯腰。
哎呦！
1、2、3、4、5、6，前后摆手。1、2、3、4。
Eva。 听见吗？听见。
2010年以后，资讯科技的整个发展之后。
After 2010, the development of our IT was focused on interaction, and a number of so-called companion-type technology was developed. In Japan, there was a promotional activity with 6 of those Pepper robots going to tour to nursing homes and interacting with elderly people.
The development of technology alongside the rapidly aging society means the degree of humanization of these robots needs to increase. In Taiwan, these robots have yet to enter homes or medical institutions, though there is yet another factor limiting the adoption of these robots.
真正的人性跟人性之间的亲情。
There is no way for any artificial intelligence device or any software or platform to replace the need for human care and affection.
carefree 好高兴有机会与韩奶奶互动，我们下次见。
他说要跟你下一次再见面，好不好？下次见，好不好？
啊？
下一次再见面，好不好？
请等等。那什么时候就不能预定了？
Are you willing to allow a robot to accompany your old age?
To get a head start on the Lunar New Year celebration, Tzu Chi volunteers from Wolong of Da'an District in Taipei held a reunion banquet at a recycling station where delicious vegetarian cuisine was served and fantastic musical numbers were performed. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.